Hi, hello friend, welcome to a channel. This is not how I was expecting to spend my Monday. You know, I'm just sitting here today. I just released my newest video, just a meme review of some Monet bullcrap. When one of you guys sent me a comment, basically the comment that one of you guys left me was directing me to a video where a Monet distributor made a video reacting to one of Emily Leah's videos. Now, if you watch me, you probably watch Emily Leah, right? She's like the flower child of the anti-MLM movement. She is a sweet, beautiful daisy, and we need to protect her at all costs. Emily Leah, sweet, perfect Emily Leah, made a video just basically saying, I don't support MLMs and here's why. And then this chick, which I'm not going to share this person's name or her face, I'm gonna blur it all out, just because, as always, I don't condone bullying and I don't want my followers, well, I mean, I will say a lot of people have flooded this woman's comment section. There are 400 comments on this video and a lot of them are anti-MLM. Now, this video also is getting a substantial amount of views on this woman's channel. There's no other video on her channel that has made this kind of view count. To summarize this video, which this video is gonna be so freaking long, dude. But to summarize, before we jump into the video, basically this woman is the epitome of not trying to be rude, and then they continue to be rude. She is that personified. She sits there and she says, this is not personal, and then she says personal things about Emily Leah, and then says, that's all I'm saying personally about her, and then goes into the comments and said, I was never personal. Like, what? Girl, I have this whole back and forth with her. Let's go through this real fast. I also watched maybe like 40 minutes of the video, and then I got to the point where I was like, dude, there's another 20 minutes left of this freaking video. Like, I'm just gonna sit and react to the rest of it on camera. It's very long. But it was like, while I was watching it, I'm like, I have a lot I can say about that. I have a lot I can say about that. Anyway, so the comment I left said, says personal attacks are mean and tells us we can't do it against you in your comment section. Also, made a video literally personally attacking one individual person. You are the living epitome of not trying to be mean, but ... She said, clearly you did not watch the video to me. I never attacked Emily personally, which I guess she's kind of right. I have not, at this point in my life, have not finished the entire video, simply because it is an hour long and I just couldn't handle it anymore. She did attack Emily personally, though. I mean, I wouldn't say attack. Attack is a very strong word, but she did make some personal remarks about Emily. I didn't say personal attacks are mean, I said they're illogical. If you want to try to prove me wrong, you will need to counter my arguments with facts. And this is when I began to think, I think I should make a video. She invited me to do this video. And I just said, you said a bunch of stuff about Emily at the beginning of your video, and we'll obviously go into all that. And I said, you messed with the wrong community, hun. You come for one of our own, you have to prepare yourself for the clapback. I was not the first person to comment on this video. There were many, many, many comments on this video from a bunch of people. We came out in hordes because the things that this woman is saying are not only hypocritical, but they're just biased. Maybe I'm not one to hit on the bias thing, because obviously we're anti-MLM here. You guys should know me at this point. Like, I do like to go into things with an unbiased outlook, and then like I form my opinion from there, and usually my opinion lines up with my anti-MLM standpoint regardless. And then she said, please do tell me what I said that was mean that personally attacked Emily. I actually complimented her more than once. I think she's smart and talented. I only attacked her arguments and I provided facts to back up my argument. First of all, as we'll get into again, many of the things she said are not facts. And then after that, she said, I don't care if you think I'm rude. That's your opinion. Prove me wrong on the facts. She says in the video, like, I love your comments. Please leave me comments, blah, blah, blah. But here she's like, I don't care. Your compliments do not equalize the rude things you said about her. That's like going up to someone and being like, you're so ugly and stupid and you're an idiot, but you have really nice nail polish on. And then being like, but I complimented her nail polish. That wasn't mean. Like, you know what I'm saying, though? You know what I'm trying to say? A compliment does not make the things you said before the compliment nothing. Then I said, give me a few minutes, the clapback of your life is on its way, which is what I'm doing right now. She said, is that a threat? Okay, boomer! I'm literally playing the same card you did, chick. Like, you made a reaction video and so am I. So, without further ado, let's just do this thing.
I am making a reaction video. This is my first reaction video to make on YouTube, so I'm kind of excited. So the name of the video is Reasons Not to Support MLM. And the name of the channel is Emily Leah. So before I get into it, I'm going to introduce myself. I have been in marketing for 25 years, worked with some of the biggest brands in the world, spent over a decade doing that. Then I had a baby. And I really wanted to stay home with my daughter. And so I actually started a blog, turned that into a blog network, and built that into a $1 million blog network over the next 5 years.
Very respectable.
The other thing about me is, I am a network marketer. And you know what? I'm proud of it. I am very proud of what I do. So I have a total of 3.5 years of experience in network marketing. I spent the last 2 years promoting Monat. So
I know I'm blurring out her face right now, but like, why is it that so many Monat distributors have really short, frizzy hair? I don't want to be mean because I am not one person to attack what someone else's outward appearance is. But when you're working with a company like Monat, if you want to sell the products, like, you have to kind of be the poster child of it. And like, looking at this woman's hair, I'm not looking at it and going, oh my god, girl, what are you using? I want to use it. Because her hair does not look healthy. Okay, one thing you need to know about me. I have been with 2 MLMs. Those experiences are why I am a voice in the anti-MLM community, because I have experienced it firsthand. The second MLM I was with was Lime Life by Alcone, and that is, they sell makeup and skincare and stuff. So what was pushed into my perspective was like, if you're gonna sell these products, like, you pretty much need to start using the products. That's what I would do. I would stop using all the other stuff I was using before and just use Lime Life products. So whenever someone was like, oh my god, I love your lipstick or whatever, I could be like, thanks, it's Lime Life, do you want to buy it? Yeah, well, I mean, that's put very simply. I know Lime Life is not the only one who does this. Like, look at any makeup MLM, first of all, unique and stuff. Color Street, they all have the Color Street nails on all the time. Paparazzi, they're always wearing their $5 jewelry. Somehow with Monat, it's like seeing a unicorn out in the wild. When you see a Monat hun with hair that I am envious of, I don't even know if it exists, honestly. If this chick wasn't so like outwardly expressive about her involvement with Monat, I would have nothing to say about her hair. Her hair's fine. Her hair is probably pretty average. But like, if you're a poster child for Monat, you better have something to show for it. And I do not believe that this woman does. Anyway.
I just want to put that on the table. Yes, I'm biased, and I'll be making a lot more videos on this topic here on my YouTube channel. So if you like this content, please subscribe, give me a like. And also,
it's kind of obvious what she's doing here, right? Let's take a quick detour and look at this woman's channel. As I'm recording this video has about 1,300 views. The only other video that compares at all to the views she's getting on this video, which she posted less than a day ago, by the way, isn't even her own content. It looks like, I mean, I'm not going to click on it to give her another view, but it looks like she's like filming a big screen at a conference or something like that. So, but when you look at all the other content she created, which it seems like she's putting, as of the past 3 weeks, she's been putting out videos once to twice a week, which is a respectable amount of work to do. We have 46 views 6 days ago, 19 views 2 weeks ago, 66 views 2 weeks ago, but 20 hours ago, 1.3 thousand views. Well, she could go one of 2 ways with this information here, because the views that she's getting here are pretty much hate views. And if you'll notice, and I don't know if she's done this with the rest of the videos on her channel, the like and dislike ratio, you can't see it. She blocked it. She made it so no one could see the like and dislike ratio, probably because it was getting hit pretty hard in the dislike category here. She could take one of 2 directions. She could either say, wow, I'm getting a lot of attention by attacking the anti-MLM community. First of all, wait, hold on. Look at this screen. Just look at what she's doing with her mouth where I pause the video. I'm just gonna unblur her mouth real fast. It's just funny. Sorry. She could say, hey, I'm getting a bunch of attention. All publicity is good publicity kind of thing. And she could continue to make content like this. And since I pissed her off in the comments, I'm probably next in the pecking order. Or she could be like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep making pro-MLM content and not bring other people into this. See, that's the thing, is that she was making pro-MLM content prior to this video, they just weren't getting very many views because there's no market in that community, right? She's not making waves with those videos she was making before, you know? So I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, to see if she's going to back off and just be like, these are the people I don't want to mess with, or if she's gonna play into this and continue to get more views that are actually hate views. Now, she is not at the level where she can monetize any of this content. You have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, which she has like 200. And then you have to have, I think, like 400,000 watch hours? Maybe it's minutes. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It'll be a while before she reaches any kind of monetization status with YouTube. So as of right now, I'm not worried about her getting attention. But when it gets to the point where, if it gets to the point where she can monetize any of this, then I'm gonna have to step in and be like, yo guys, don't go watch her videos, because it'll just benefit her. And right now, I don't believe this negative attention is benefiting her at all, but let's continue.
If you want to comment, I'm open to hearing anybody's feedback, comments. Totally great. Love your comments.
Oh, you loved my feedback? Didn't seem like it.
Bad or good. One thing I will say though is I will delete any comments that are personal attacks. Anytime when you're attacking somebody personally, that, first of all, it's obnoxious, it's rude, because you wouldn't say it to their face.
We will see examples of what she is condemning right now in this video. This is where the hypocrisy starts. It's like that thing where they say if you point one finger, there's 3 of them pointing back at you.
And I'll just throw it out. So don't go there, okay? I know that this is a controversial issue, and so that's why I have to say that. But that's the way I've always done things. I have a couple of other Facebook fan pages with, between the two of them, it's around 250,000 fans, and that's how I've always done things, and that's what works. So that's what I will be.
I want to find this chick's so-called fan pages. Oh, we need to read the description of this video eventually too, but anyway. Oh, here's her Instagram and her Facebook. Let's see. Okay, she has 2,000 followers on Instagram, and it's literally just a bunch of like Monet copy pasta. She has a link tree. Let's see. She only has links to like Monet stuff in her link tree. Again, I'm obviously trying to protect her identity, but her name on Facebook is strange. She does have 48,000 likes on this. You know, I'm not gonna lie here, the engagement on these posts here, hun, are not great. To have almost 50,000 likes on your Facebook page and only get 13 likes on a post. Some of them have like 50. That's still not great. Yeah, it looks like she's kind of averaging about 50-ish. Some of them are less. Some of them are 10 and 20. I mean, I'm sorry, but even to have like half of your people reacting to your posts and stuff like that, I mean, that would be pretty great, right? I don't think it's anything to write home about. Like, you can sit here and say, oh, I have 250,000 fans. Yeah, well, it's not really much if only 13 of them are engaging.
So the first thing I want to say is that this video is not personal. I'm not making this in any way to talk about anything personal. The young lady that made this video, Leah, she seems very smart, actually. I'm impressed with her. Her Shopify website that she has is beautiful.
Remember this. She is sitting there saying her Shopify is beautiful.
She's got some real skills.
Yes, she
especially
does.
for only 18.
Yes.
I think she is going to be very talented. I
She
do
already
think
is
it's
very
a
talented.
shame that she feels the need to attack other people.
Here's what I'll say about Leah, and I'm just being honest here. There have been a few instances where I feel like something that she covered maybe should not have been covered, but what I will say, at the very least, she kept the people anonymous, didn't show faces, names, and that's generally how she runs things. If she's gonna talk about certain things, like, I mean, she's not attacking people. She is, as the rest of us are doing here in the anti-MLM community, finding examples that we can use as a educational moment kind of thing. And it is never at the expense of one individual person. None of us here are bullying. None of us are being assholes just for the sake of being an asshole. We all have something to share here and educate our audiences with. And that is what Leah is doing. That is not what this woman is doing. Anyway.
To grow her own business, which I can tell that that's actually what she's doing, because if you look at her, if you scroll down on her YouTube channel, her other videos that are not about attacking MLM don't get a lot of views.
She's one to fucking talk. We already went through this, how many views she has on her videos. Now, and like I said, it's going to be really interesting to see where she goes after this, because if she makes more videos attacking the anti-MLM community, it just goes to show that she's doing the same exact thing. The hypocrisy will show if she goes through and does that. Now, I don't see anything wrong with this. I am also doing the same thing. I've been on YouTube since 2006. I think a lot of you guys probably don't know that. All of my old videos are not on this channel anymore because, quite frankly, I was like 15 and it was embarrassing. Back then, there was no money making anything on YouTube. Me and my friend Kayla just like did stuff for fun because we liked it. And then, you know, I graduated high school and went to college and like got a job and had a kid and stuff like that. YouTube kind of fell off the radar for me. I didn't really care to make content until I tried to start doing makeup and stuff. And I would say I had very minimal success with that. I mean, compared to what I'm doing now, I would be lucky to get a few hundred views on a makeup video, but everything changed when I quit Lime Life by Alcone and made a video about it. And I was like, oh, okay, there's people who want to watch this kind of content. Every once in a while, I would sprinkle in an anti-MLM video along with the rest of my makeup stuff, which, like I said, my makeup stuff was what I really wanted to do at the time. And honestly, if there was a market for it, I still probably would. And if the beauty industry and the beauty community on YouTube wasn't so toxic, maybe I would pursue it more, but I'm not about it anymore. But at the time, I was just like, this is what I want to do. But every once in a while, I'd sprinkle in an anti-MLM content and people would watch it. If you've noticed, the past like 3 or 4 months, maybe not that much, but I haven't posted a makeup video in at least 2 or 3 months, I think. Because quite honestly, the effort that goes into making those videos and then having to spend money on makeup and stuff, like, it's just not a lucrative way to spend my time on my YouTube channel. So it's all kind of trial and error, isn't it? You kind of just make content and you find out what your audience likes and you appease your audience. That is what you do. That's what YouTube is. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be making content that we like. If you enjoy what you're doing, then your audience will follow. The fact of the matter is, between me and Emily Leah, is that I think we both have found what works for us, what gets our audience engaged, and yeah, we're gonna continue to do it because that's the point. I love making anti-MLM content now because I am very passionate about it, but up until I started making that kind of content, like, MLMs to me were just like, I'd look at them and just be like, ugh, they're just a nuisance to the world. And then when I realized there was an audience for it and people were actually listening, it's like, hey, like, I could actually do something here. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, especially because my content in general is for the sake of education. That's why I do a lot of deep dives and stuff. I would do more of them if I had time, but that's why I sprinkle in some meme videos like once or twice a month, because sometimes I just need to research and not spend a bunch of time on videos. I don't know. My point is that the anti-MLM community grows by the day. As a content creator, myself and Emily Leah and anyone else in the anti-MLM community would be crazy to just be like, I'm not gonna keep making the content that gets the most attention. Because, okay, here's the difference between us and this chick. She's getting a lot of attention on this video, but it's all negative attention. The anti-MLM community is generally a pretty positive place. The only negativity comes from the Huns, you know, going in there and being like, fake news. I mean, I would say my like and dislike ratios are between 90 and 98% on most videos, you know. That's pretty good. And I wish I had a statistic for this woman's video because I can guarantee it is not anywhere near that. So, anyway.
She's getting 10 to 20, even 30 times more views by doing these hashtag anti-MLM.
Don't roll your fucking eyes at it. It's like there's a community for a reason.
Videos, and honestly, I think that's just a cheap tactic.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Oh, I cannot wait to see what kind of content she makes after this. I'm so excited.
Like, make quality content that people want to watch.
That's what she's doing.
And they'll want to follow you.
That's why she's
the
doing
way
it.
I've always done things.
Why does she think that? Does she think she's trying to make a point? Like, what did I just fucking say? We're making the content we make because it's getting through to people.
That's my only feedback. Otherwise, I think she seems really smart and talented.
She is.
But that's as much as I'm going to say about her personally. I don't.
See, okay, right here she admits, I've said some personal things and I'm going to stop now. Which she doesn't. There are a few more instances in this video in which she has some more personal things to say about Emily. So when I called her out and said, hey, you literally said personal stuff about her, she was like, I don't think it was rude. Here's why I think it's rude. She made an assumption about Emily's intentions and by proxy making assumptions on why the anti-MLM community is as successful as it is in the first place. Emily, along with the rest of us, are not making these videos because we like to attack people. It's because we have stories to tell and we're trying to help people not fall into the same things that we did.
Don't do personal attacks. I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Ever go there. It's not what it's about. Let's look at the content of her video and let's actually analyze her claims. Let's look at the facts.
Okay, let's do it.
That's really what this is all about.
Okay.
So it's a really long video, and she's got a lot of these videos that are very long. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to skip through because there's no way I can cover all the things that she says.
So the first reason why I don't agree with MLMs is that only 1 to 2% of people actually make a living wage, and yes, that is a fact. You cannot argue with that. That isn't even subtracting taxes or what they've spent in the actual company. So they could be realistically only making, $1,000 in a year.
Okay, so point number one, she's saying that only 1 to 2% make $15,000 to $20,000 a year. And I'm going to agree with her.
Yeah, I mean, she can't disagree with her. There's a bazillion facts and statistics that prove this, so.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I pulled up the income earnings. I don't have this from our company.
Do you know why she doesn't have this for Monet? Because Monet won't release it. Monet is one of the many companies who refuses to release an income disclosure statement, even though it's federally required for these companies, and I'll be the first to admit that I don't know how they're getting past not having this. They do have like a disclaimer basically saying that these are just mathematical blah blah blah. They shouldn't be your expectation for how much money you're actually going to make and stuff like that. But there's no numbers involved, and Monet has not released them, which is extremely sketchy. And to me, when I see that happening within a company, I'm like, what do you have to hide? I think a lot of times it's just because they don't want to admit how shitty their stats are. The ones who do release the statements, I mean, I give them a very minimal pinky applause here, but at the very least, they're transparent about, well, kind of, I don't know. You can look at Paparazzi, for example. They released an income disclosure statement, but it's still kind of a joke. But at least it's something. It's better than what Monet can say. She just kind of skips over the fact that Monet won't even release an income disclosure statement. So she brings up Rodan and Fields here in a second, which is a totally different company. But, I mean, you will generally see with all of these MLMs, their numbers are generally very similar to each other.
Now, most companies' reports are going to be similar to this. So she's right. Only a small percentage of network marketing consultants are making a lot of money.
I'm curious. God, this video is going to be so long. I'm so sorry. But I'm curious to see if Rodan and Fields has any facts or statements about how much these consultants are spending to make it to these ranks. The 2015 income disclosure statement says these statistics do not account for expenses that may be incurred by participants, and that's generally pretty common to see. 2014 says the same thing. 2018, yeah, I mean, here it says the same exact thing. These statistics do not include expenses that may be incurred by consultants. I think it was My Daily Choice that was brave enough to come out and say that yearly or annually their consultants spend a certain amount of money. And with Monet especially, I haven't looked into Monet super deep. First of all, their products are really expensive. A lot of the consultants just buy a bunch of stuff and end up with a stash. So the amount of money that they spend probably outweighs the amount of commission they brought in that month. You know what I'm saying? So usually that's why they say that with MLMs you need to make a spreadsheet and track your expenses to see if you ever actually get out of the red, which most of the time they don't. Even though this says 17% of people at least made $1,000 annually. Well, they probably spent $2,000 over the course of the year on skincare, Anastasia Beverly Hills bullshit. I don't know.
Only 2% made more than $20,000 a year. But I want to make a couple points here, and then I'm also going to link to another video that I made.
Yes, just keep trying to push your content that no one wants to watch. Okay.
That goes into great detail about this. I actually ran a blog network, as I mentioned before, and we had the same numbers, you guys. I saw the same thing with our bloggers. In fact, I'll show you.
Okay, so she goes into this part, and what I wanted to mention here, like she makes a little flow chart or whatever, and it's like, look at how similar the numbers are. Here's the difference between being an MLM consultant and a blogger. The overhead costs of maintaining your business and your rank in MLMs is not reflected in this at all. These people are spending a lot more money to be an MLM consultant on business cards, website fees, product, inventory sometimes, depending on the company. While when you're a blogger, you know, maybe you pay a little bit of money to claim like a website title or whatever. I don't know how any of that really works, but I know it's not expensive, and I think it's charged on a yearly basis. So there's that. Depending on what you're blogging about, maybe you do have to spend money on products if you're reviewing stuff, but usually once you start blogging and you have a decent audience, like companies will just send you stuff, you know? My point is that, yeah, these numbers are similar, but it's not factoring in the fact that many of the MLM consultants are making what they're making minus what they spent to get there. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's why I'm saying these numbers, it's like comparing apples to oranges here. Like, the businesses are very different. And honestly, blogging, I respect that as an income or side hustle much more than I respect an MLM, because at the very least, starting a blog is starting your own business, pretty much. While starting an MLM, you're just paying a company to be able to sell their products. Two totally different things.
Why is this the case? Well, there's a couple reasons, and I'll just run through them briefly, and then we're going to move on to her next point. But I think between this and my other video, this is completely debunked. Number one, the vast majority of people who work in network marketing are women. The vast majority of those women are moms. We're very busy.
This is true. Well, Avon's been around since I think the 1800s or something. I think I'm getting this information from the Dream podcast. That's pretty much the best way I can be like, here's the source of what I'm about to say. Before Avon, men were kind of doing like the door-to-door salesman thing, and at that time, back in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, women were homemakers. Like, point blank, they didn't have jobs, they stayed home. So like, some scary man you don't know comes knocking on your door, like, and you're alone with the kids, you're not going to let him in your house. Men weren't super successful at it just because of the atmosphere surrounding that time regarding equality between men and women. Like, all the men went to war, and then like the women were alone and needed something to do. So, you know, it's much more welcoming for women to go door to door to other women and be like, hey, do you want to buy this product? But mostly because like they were looking for, I mean, a community, but a way to interact with other women, and also the opportunity to be able to make some form of money for their families. There's not really statistics, from what I understand, about how much money they actually made back in these times, but I guess my point is that that's kind of why this is such a woman-dominated industry, because it just kind of started out that way out of necessity. Men just were not successful at it, and women had to do it so that they could have a reason to help their families and have a sense of belonging. And that is true to this day a lot of the times. I know after I had my daughter, I mean, I still work, but I definitely went down to part-time. It's still very common. And of course, as a woman, after you have a baby, you're going to want to stay home and be with your kid. This is not new information. This has been happening for a long time. So the problem with this, though, is that it's makes us easy targets, and that's a big reason why a lot of us in the anti-MLM community like to speak out about it, because we feel targeted. That's how I got pulled into MLMs. Right after I had my daughter, I got pulled into Gold Canyon. While I was on maternity leave, they're just like, you can make all this extra side money. And I'm like, yes, I need that. I'm not working and I just had a baby. After that, I did Lime Life because Gold Canyon didn't work out. Because the same thing, they were just like, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And I'm like, I want to be home with my baby. I want to raise my daughter. And this is very common. I know I'm not the only one who experienced this. It's because we are easy targets. That's not something to be proud of.
So this is at best a part-time gig for these women. They're not spending 40, 50, 60 hours a week at this. They're doing this very part-time, maybe 5, 10, 20 hours a week.
What these people always like to say is like, oh, the more time you spend, the more effort you put into it, the more you're gonna see. And we know this is not true. I mean, if you spend more than 30 seconds in the anti-MLM subreddit, you'll see story after story after story of people's experiences with this. I mean, you hear a lot where it's like, well, if you quit now, how will you ever know? Like, you could get a big break tomorrow. And, you know, they like to push this in your face. They will use any excuse to keep you from leaving the business. By the time you really have to snap out of it, it's like, oh shit, I'm $10,000 in debt or something, you know?
Now, some of them are able to spend more time on their business, but that's usually after it gets bigger. And I saw the same thing with the bloggers. As their business would grow, they would spend more time. But
well, yeah. When you find something that's successful, you do it more, right? Like, it just goes back to why there is an anti-MLM community here on YouTube in the first place.
I spent years not making very much money at all. And she even says that later in this video, that she says she didn't make very much money for the first 5 years she was running her business.
I don't think this is a good argument, simply because when you read a lot of these MLM success stories, a lot of the people who are high up and having success within these companies got in at the ground level when it was early, just starting. It's about timing, it's about luck, and maybe 1% of the time it's about how much work you put into it. A lot of the time it's based on the network you had before you started doing direct sales. There's a lot of factors that go into it, and it's also about how willing you are to annoy your friends and family. So it's like, whatever.
And like I said, I go into much more detail in the other video, so you can go watch that.
No, I won't.
The only other point I want to make about how much people make from network marketing is there's one other factor, and that is most people don't join network marketing with the idea that they're going to make a full-time living.
That is not true at all. Out of all the recruitment tactics I've seen within the MLM communities, they all rely on success stories and illusions of grandeur. Because, you know, if we came out here and said, hey, you have a 1% chance of making any money with this, no one's gonna join. You have to be able to put those success stories out and be like, look at what you can achieve. Sure, you might have those stragglers that are like, oh, I just sold because I really like the product, which is actually honestly what I did with Gold Canyon, because my family had been buying Gold Canyon since I was a kid, and I loved their products, and I was targeted as a new mom who needed more money while I was on maternity leave. Just literally just look at any video from any of those like conventions and stuff that these MLMs will throw. All it is success story speaker after speaker after speaker who will sit up there and be like, you can do this, you can do this. Like, you cannot say that people don't go into this wanting to make a full-time living from home, from working on their phone. They all say that. They all say that. You can't sit there and deny it.
From it. In fact, the vast majority of people kind of just want to be part of something. They want to maybe make a little bit of extra income on the side, but quite honestly, a lot of them are just happy to get the products wholesale.
This is another excuse that when you're in the 99% not making any money, they like to use this excuse for why they're failing. They'll try, you know, behind the scenes to make some money at this, because why wouldn't they want to, right? But when it doesn't work out, they'll just sit there and go, oh, I just really like the product and I just wanted to get a discount on it. We'd be crazy to say that people don't think that they can make a living off of this.
So I don't think it's fair to say that women are losing money.
You don't? You first of all have to buy into these companies for hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars for a starter kit. A lot of them have membership fees you have to pay every year, or website fees. I mean, and you can argue like, well, every business has those expenses. Yeah, but this isn't your business. You're at best, you're a contractor. You got to be the poster child for this. You have to live the lifestyle, and then people will want to follow you.
You won't believe the tax deductions you get. The average savings, according to, I'll link to her in the description box, Courtney Epps. She said that she saves her clients anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a year, you guys, just from having the business, not making any money from it at all.
There's no way. I'm not a tax professional, so maybe I'm not one to speak on this, but that sounds too good to be true. And we all should know by now that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I can't imagine there's not a ton of ways to qualify for those deductions. Just being part of an MLM, there's no way you're gonna save $4,000 to $8,000 a year. Like on taxes, there's no way.
Why wouldn't you start a business if you could start saving anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a year on average right off the bat? It's a no-brainer. So right there, the whole fallacy that women are losing money on MLMs is just that. It's completely false.
No, it's not.
All right, so let's get into the next claim that she makes.
So the next reason why I really don't like MLMs are spam messages and cold messages. I did a whole video on cold messages, and we have footage of someone showing how to do and how to send out a cold message and how to find people and all of that. I think it's rude. I think it's annoying. I think it's disgusting. I'm guilty of it. I did it when I was in It Works. I would go and spam message people, and I did share my message that I spam messaged a lot of people when I was in those MLMs, and you guys were like, wow, you were so polite, so nice. I'm like, listen, I felt so weird promoting it because I just knew I felt so slimy. I was just like, I'm not making anything. I know that anyone I recruit isn't gonna make anything. I just felt so gross, and cold messages are just no.
Her next point is about cold messaging, and that she doesn't like that people do cold messaging.
Who likes that?
I could not agree more.
Okay.
I have to agree with her on this. I hate cold messaging. I don't do it myself. I never tell my downline to do that. And I actually discourage that behavior. I think nobody likes it. Nobody likes to get cold text messages. Nobody likes to do it, right? I don't like to do it. It feels gross.
So is she saying that because she doesn't like cold messaging, that it doesn't exist? Because her and her team don't do it, then no one does it? Dun, 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 dun. So many people do it. You can't just sweep it under the rug because you don't do it. Like, other people do it. Just because you don't do it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. What even is this argument?
It's also not effective. It's actually not an effective sales strategy. It's
Well, we
similar
all
to
know
cold
that.
calling. The reason it's not effective is because you don't have any rapport built with people. The
She's
way sales and marketing work, people have to know, like, and trust you before they want to buy from you, right? You have to develop a relationship. You have to have a bond.
I think the reason this is so hard with MLMs is because for a while, the internet was a great thing for multi-level marketing companies because it was a new way to reach potential customers and recruits. However, since the rise of the anti-MLM movement, our information and our stories have been shared out there, and like I've said before, the point of our community in the first place is to spread the word and be like, yo, these companies are shady, you should know about them. It's no secret that you'll just sit here. Okay. What were we talking about? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah. It's no secret that, these companies, look at just the past 6 months, we've had Advocare, Success by Health be fined and made to change their entire business structure. And I think a lot of the MLM companies are scared. In the Dream podcast, which is undoubtedly one of the biggest voices in the anti-MLM movement, had some sort of communication with people within the FTC and the FDA. And I don't remember exactly what the situation was, but she was able to communicate with these people, and she received confirmation that the FTC is creating a larger task force to deal with these companies. I believe that we're going to see a lot of changes coming here in the next few years, especially if the task force is growing. And there's a reason for this. It's like these people who sit there and defend MLMs, it's like they're completely ignoring like what is going on with them at a federal level. Like, they're scared. Now, what she says about having a rapport and stuff like that, I mean, she's right. We're not all gonna buy from a company that we don't trust, no one does that. But I think getting back to what I was saying, why I got into that little sidebar in the first place, is this information is more readily available than it's ever been. So it's harder for people within MLMs to build that kind of trust and respect because it's becoming more widely known, the deceptive consumer practices that these businesses put on, among every other issue they've had. It's just the information is getting out there to more people. They use deceptive sales practices and it rubs a lot of people the wrong way for good reason. She is right about if you're gonna build your business, you need to have people like and trust you and stuff, but it's very hard to do with an MLM these days because of the information that is out there.
A better way is to do actually what she's doing, what Emily's doing, what I'm doing, is to get out and create content that actually helps people. For
That's what we're doing.
example, create a YouTube channel.
That's what we're doing.
Create a Facebook page where you create content that people will benefit from.
That's what we're doing.
Where you're teaching people information about stuff.
That's what we're doing.
Sharing stuff that's entertaining. Building a relationship with your potential customers. And I think that's really what being an online influencer is about, or a content creator. It's to, help your audience with whatever the content is that you're creating. So if you're selling essential oils, for example, you would want to, create videos or blog posts, or ideally both, where you're sharing information about these products and why they help people.
Which is fine, but I mean, it's not a secret either that most MLM's products, there's a markup on them, a very large markup, and their quality oftentimes, or more often than not, is not any different from something you can get at half the price. I mean, look at essential oils. She's talking about essential oils right now. Let's talk about essential oils. I mean, you can compare Young Living to someone like Plant Therapy or Eden's Garden. Like, their quality in the oils are about the same from what I understand. Now, I am not an essential oil expert, but Eden's Garden is much, 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 much less expensive, and Young Living or any essential oil really will just be like, oh no, you're paying for the quality. No, you're really not. You're paying for the bonuses and these incentives and stuff that come along with being a high-level distributor with an MLM company.
I'm going to be teaching them soup to nuts, everything from starting a blog, how to set up your YouTube channel, how to grow on all of these platforms, because truly, I think this is the modern way to sell.
I mean, it kind of is, but I don't think this woman is an expert on how to grow a YouTube channel. She's kind of doing it back-asswards, isn't she?
But you don't start selling until you have a relationship. So I think the timing is better than ever for network marketing. I think this is the perfect time for people to get involved, because all you got to do is get active online, create content that helps people, and you can eventually sell to them.
Any influencer does this, really, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. It's just kind of the inherently deceptive and scammy and culty traits of MLMs. Like, it makes it a lot harder.
We talk about the cold messaging. That's just bad salesmanship. So I'm just gonna consider that one debunked.
No, you cannot do that. Just because you don't do it doesn't mean other people don't do it. Because guess what, chick? A lot of people in MLMs still send cold messages. There kind of wouldn't be an active anti-MLM subreddit without it. That is a big majority of the content that is posted on that subreddit, because it is the gift that just keeps giving and giving and giving.
Duh. People shouldn't be doing that. And
okay, boomer.
if they are doing that, there's a better way to do it. That's all. But that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with MLM intrinsically.
I mean, it's not a common practice within regular businesses. So yeah, I would say it's almost exclusive to MLMs, and it is part of the problem.
If you know what I mean. Intrinsically, it's a good model. That doesn't prove that the model's bad.
I love you too. Intrinsically, it's a pyramid scheme, so.
Okay.
You can't sit there, oh, sorry. You can't sit there and say that the model is not bad when that same exact model is being used in many of the companies that are being fined and shut down by the FTC right now. Come on.
Let's go to the next point.
Defend it with everything they have. I would not put in that much effort to fight for a company. I mean, that just seems super red flag. If anything, and my company was, going through some crap, I'd probably quit. I'd want to hop off that boat before it sank. I don't understand. I I would fight for my own business like that, but that's because it's my own business. My name is attached to it. It's my business. I'm sorry, but Arbonne, Monet, your name's not on there. Even if you're a founder, it's not on there. So like, why put in the effort and the work trying to defend something? I don't understand it. It makes no sense. If you're an MLMer, want to explain to me why you defend this so hard, let me know.
Before this lady starts talking, let me just share with you something called the sunk cost fallacy. This can be used for more than just like MLMs. This can be used in politics and worldviews, morals, and of course MLMs. When you commit time, money, any other kind of resource to something, it'll get to the point where it's like, I spent so much time doing this, might as well keep going. I spent so much money in this, might as well keep going. The sunk cost fallacy is very big in MLMs, and I think that's a lot of the reason why these people are so quick to defend it, because let's face it, they have been going on social media for many of them many months or years saying, hey, this has changed my life, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. It would mean that all that work, all that peddling, all that cold messaging that she likes to pretend doesn't exist but totally does exist would mean nothing if they were to just quit. And I think that's why a lot of people just defend it, because they're like, I told my family and my closest friends that my life has changed and my life is so much better. What would it look like if I just quit?
This is a reason why I think we feel the need to defend so vigorously. And I see this literally every single day on Facebook, every day, and on YouTube, and on Reddit, and everywhere I go, I see this. Emily, respectfully, it's people like you that are making people so antagonistic.
Yeah, it's totally our fault that MLMs are as scammy and culty as they are. No, this has been going on for decades and we're finally speaking up about it. When it comes to the anti-MLM community, most of us have had some kind of experience within an MLM, or we had someone close to us who had experience within an MLM, and the point is to speak out and tell these stories to help people and keep them from getting into network marketing and MLMs and all that. Is that negatively impacting MLMs? Hell yeah, it is, but that's the point. And guess what? It's working. Because now that people are here to step up and speak out, that's when change happens. And I can go back to say, that's why there are some companies being brought down, fined, sued, etc. right now. That's why there's a larger task force being made by the FTC. This is not just a small group of people who just want to pick on somebody. This is a pretty large movement of people who are trying to save people from falling into that 99%, which obviously most people fall into. She's sitting here blaming Emily Leah, the sweetest little sweet pea, for being the reason why MLMs have to defend themselves. You can throw stats and statistics at these people. Most of the time, they don't have stats and statistics to clap back with. A lot of MLM stuff is based on anecdotal evidence. I mean, it's like arguing with anti-vaxxers or flat earthers or something, like people who really don't have the facts and the figures to stand on. They say, I made all this money, so you just must not be trying hard enough. Well, it's not true, because 99% of people lose money in an MLM. This is an actual statistic. And a lot of times, the people who do support MLMs at a certain time, might move on to be like, you know what, never mind, this isn't for me anymore. Just like me and Emily Leah. Emily Leah was with It Works. I was with Lime Life and Gold Canyon. We have experience in this, and we don't want to see other people fall into the same trap that we did. It's not a matter of harassment and bullying. It's just not. That's what they try to make it out to be. They're just like, why you gotta pick on us? Because women are losing money to you. MLMs are essentially a reverse funnel system. So when money is spent on the bottom, it funnels up to the top, and those are the people who are making money. Customers within MLMs are the distributors and not outside retail customers in most cases. To most of us, this just seems like common sense, like that's probably not right, but somehow, they still feel like they need to defend it, and I think that goes back to the sunk cost fallacy. Anyway.
Like, if you didn't feel the need to make your hashtag anti-MLM videos, people wouldn't be so defensive.
about anything. If I came out today and said, hey guys, I think we need to eat shampoo. I'm starting a new diet called the Tresemme diet. And that's all we do is we eat shampoo and then drink bleach. So if I said that and then people started making content being like, hey guys, don't listen to what Savannah says because here are the stats and statistics, you'll probably die. I cannot then sit there and go, if you guys weren't making all these mean videos about me, then I wouldn't have to defend my Tresemme diet. It's like, I mean, you can sit there and be like, that's a ridiculous comparison, but it's really not. It is like this for anything. The argument is absolutely ridiculous. If you didn't bully me, I wouldn't have to stand up for myself. Well, you're doing something that is intrinsically dangerous to people's financial situations, their relationships, their lives. We're not just doing this for fun. Sometimes it is fun. I'm having fun right now. That's not the root of why we do what we do.
It's interesting actually, because the first time I joined MLM was when in the 90s. It was the late 90s. The internet was just starting. So there weren't like hate groups and people commenting online and
because there wasn't information about any of this. And now that the information is readily available, people are actually able to make informed decisions.
You know, saying all this stuff. It was like, I didn't really get any of that from people. I handed out my cassette tapes and my brochures. I invited people to the hotel meetings, but we didn't have to deal with online hate and
because no one knew any better.
Bullies. Just didn't exist. So in a way it was kind of better, but it's a double-edged sword because now we can make videos, we can put content out there, we can reach people online, which is great.
Basically what she's saying is the 90s were better because no one was educated. So we could peddle our shit and no one would question it.
But the downside of it is people like Emily, and there's a number of them out there, and it's not just her. There's a lot of people that do it just like on their Facebook page every single day. I woke up to it this morning. That's what they do. They feel like, okay, you know, either they didn't like a product, so they want to trash it, or...
Is this necessarily a bad thing? This isn't exclusive to MLMs either. This is, I mean, look at, for example, let's go into the beauty industry. Jaclyn Hill. When she had her lipstick scandal like a year ago, people spoke out when they got little hairs and weird stuff in their lipstick. If that whole thing had not happened, people probably would have just kept using those lipsticks. But since there were people speaking out about it, people were able to be educated and be like, maybe I'm gonna spend my money elsewhere. That's the point. That's the point. We're not trying to bring down legitimate companies. We're not trying to bring down legitimate products. You have products like Monate, who there's class action lawsuits, among other lawsuits, active right now of people suing them for hair loss. This isn't, I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. I think most of us watching this know that this is a real thing, but a lot of these people like to just kind of shove it off and be like, oh, they're not settling for anything. They're gonna fight this. It doesn't mean that the accusations aren't true. Oh, perfect example. And this might be a little bit of a hint to my next deep dive, but because I was reading about this yesterday, but there's an MLM called the one-to-one diet, I think, but it's more commonly referred to as the Cambridge diet, which was, I think, invented in the 60s. It was sold to some people who made it into an MLM essentially. And basically it was a diet that it was like 330 calories a day, which is essentially starvation. Over the course of a year of people following this diet that was being pushed and peddled by Hunbots of the 80s, essentially, 6 people died. Using this woman's logic, it's like she's saying like, hey, bad things happen and let's just not talk about it. It's like, no, we need to. I mean, that's what you're doing. You think the anti-MLM community is bad, so you're coming out and speaking out against it. So how come you're allowed to do that, but we're not? Hypocritical. Meh.
They don't like MLM, so they're gonna trash it and trash anyone who does it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why we call ourselves the anti-MLM community. No
wonder people are so defensive, because they're trying to make a living. Emily, I won't do this to you because I'm a better person than that. But I could say some things about your Shopify store.
Oh, yeah. Remember earlier when I was like, remember what she said here?
Her Shopify website that she has is beautiful.
Her Shopify is so beautiful. She's so talented. And then she backpedals 10 minutes later and goes, oh, you know what? It's not that great.
Say some things about your Shopify store.
Like, if she's gonna sit here and say in the comments, and even in this video, like, I'm a better person than that, it goes back to the whole, like, not to be rude, but she is insinuating that Emily Leah has a Shopify account that is not all that great, even though she spent time saying how great it was before. Like, this woman is a hypocrite.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut. You know why? Because I don't do that.
You're doing it right now. By not being specific, it doesn't mean that you're not doing it. You're still being a bitch.
Okay? I don't do that.
Yeah, you do.
I respect you as a human being.
No, you
I
don't.
want you to succeed.
No, you want her to join your team and make you money.
I don't even know you, but
Oh, the proof of that is in the description. Let's go there. Read what this woman wrote here. She has what it takes to be a great marketer. I love her Shopify store. She did a great job with the design and presentation. The girl has talent. But then she goes, I have some things I could say about your Shopify store. But then, even more importantly, 2 paragraphs down, it says, actually, I think Emily would be great at network marketing. Hopefully, she will wake up from the Matrix one day and join MLM because it truly is the best business model and it's not going away. Yeah, tell that to fucking Advocare. Yeah, it may sound crazy for me to be like, she doesn't want the best for Emily. She wants her to join an MLM. She literally said it herself in her description. It sounds crazy, right? It sounds pretty ridiculous, but these are things that she has said.
I really think that you're talented. I think you should be able to stay home. Hopefully, like if you want to have kids or you want to travel or who knows what you want to do with your life, you can do it by building a business online. So,
I mean, she's doing that, just not in the way that you want her to.
I would never attack you. I would never go online and say, let me tell you all the reasons why she sucks.
This is a 57-minute long video of her doing exactly that.
You know, or her website could be better, or there's problems with this.
I would never say that her website could be better.
I don't do that.
Yes, you
now,
do.
I may
You're
say
doing
it
it
to you
right now.
directly, but I wouldn't broadcast it, okay?
You're doing it right now.
I wouldn't go beat my drum every day
You're
and
doing
feel
it right
the
now.
need to do that. That's why I question people, like, why are you doing that? Why are you attacking other people
Why are you
online?
doing that?
So that's why I hesitated even making this video, because it's like, I don't want to have to fight back, but I feel like we have to dispel some of these myths.
You should have listened to your gut, girl.
And we have to stop the hate, stop the bullying.
Okay, so I will agree here. I do believe that there are some parts of the anti-MLM community that focus very heavily on bullying. There are a lot of Instagram pages and things like that people will not censor names or faces or anything like that, just to be like, ha ha ha, look at what this person said, and then the comment sections are all just like, ha ha ha, this and that about this person. I don't believe that's right. And you might sit here and be like, well, Savannah, you're making a video right now attacking one lady. And my rebuttal to that is she threw the first stone. And I am defending someone, being Emily, that I believe deserves to be defended. Point blank. So I would not be coming on here making this video if not for the fact that she made a video first, you know, and attacked one of our own. You know, I think there is a big difference between this kind of stuff and bullying. Now, I do think that maybe some people need to take a step back, and we're not trying to make this community about bullying. We're trying to make this community about educating, spreading the word, spreading stories, and things like that. I think that is what we need to focus on, and not bullying. So I will agree with her with that. The bullying should stop. But the education should not. Oh, where are you going? Are you leaving? Okay, bye. Love you. Like, if we're using it for the sake of educating and not for the sake of, like, poking fun at someone, I guess.
What value are you serving? What value are you bringing to the world by trashing other people?
We are protecting people from joining the 99% of people who will statistically lose money in an MLM. Thanks!
So imagine you start a new business and you're selling peanut butter, and you go online and you start a peanut butter company Facebook page, and you've got your little YouTube channel that you started and your blog, and suddenly there's like all these people who are anti-nuts because they're like anaphylactic maybe, and they are really upset that you're selling peanut butter. Now, they have every right to not like peanut butter, because peanut butter actually can make them die. They can die.
This is such an
from
extreme
eating peanut
example.
butter.
I have a feeling that, like, her and anyone who supports her would come on this video and be like, oh my god, your examples are so extreme, but they could die. No, that's not dramatic at all. That all aside, this is obviously again, comparing apples to oranges, this is not similar, because if you started a business selling peanut butter, but you're not trying to recruit other people to sell peanut butter so that you will get richer, I don't really see a problem with that.
Does that give them the right to go online and trash peanut butter and tell everyone they know, oh, I have a friend who ate peanut butter and she almost died?
First of all, that was really cringy, boomer. I'm sorry. See, this is why Emily Leah needs to be defended, because she is probably the nicest one out of any of us in this community. She's too sweet. Yeah, no, I think it does give people the right.
I have a friend who did MLM, and she was so victimized because she didn't make any money and she did it for 6 months. That's what I'm saying. You guys, think about what you're doing. You know, just because you didn't have a good experience.
Just because 99% of people don't have a good experience
with MLM or with a particular product, it doesn't make it right for you to go online and trash other people.
Yeah, it does, because we're trying to help people. We're not trying to recruit them and make them a financial asset to us. That's what people in MLMs do. You're gonna make the most money if you recruit people. Recruiting someone is a financial benefit to you. That is literally victimizing people. It is incentivizing people to recruit. Despite the fact that 99% of those people will end up losing money. It's dehumanizing, honestly.
I love peanut butter. I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all the time. My daughter can't eat them because she's allergic to nuts, but she doesn't feel the need to go online and bang a drum about it, okay? So that's
I mean, she doesn't have to. A lot of people have nut allergies, so I don't understand. This is not a good analogy at all.
That point. So I think your point of like, why do we defend our companies so vigorously? Because of this. Because we're attacked relentlessly every single day.
Because you are preying on vulnerable people for the sake of your own financial gain.
Now, a lot of people just try to avoid it, and I do too, but I honestly, that's why I want to start making more videos here on this channel. A lot of people will just avoid it, and I have for a long time. I've been doing this for 2 years, but I'm really feeling the need to get out and confront this.
All right, good luck.
I feel like too many of us are suffering silently, and that needs to stop. We need to stop the bullying.
You know what? A lot of people in MLMs are also suffering silently as well. Look at companies like Monet that won't release an income disclosure statement. There's a lot of people who are in the red in companies like that, and any other MLM, but they won't let on to that because they won't recruit anyone if they tell people that they're in debt.
The other reason, I want to make one more point on to this point that she has about why people defend their companies so vigorously and the industry. Why we defend network marketing as an industry. This is our livelihood. And just like Emily said, she would defend.
It's not your livelihood. Like, you literally just came out and said that most people just do it as a part-time to earn some extra money. But oh no, now it's your livelihood? Get your story straight, woman, damn.
Her own business, why wouldn't we defend ours? So if you're attacking someone, they're going to defend themselves. That's good and that's right. Just like I would expect her to defend her own business if someone were attacking it publicly.
Well, I'm gonna defend the Tresemme diet till I die.
And finally, the last point she made was that when she had a job, she worked for somebody and she didn't care if they weren't doing well, she would just bail on them. And that's exactly the problem with a regular job. It is not easy to keep a small business alive.
MLMs are not small businesses. Many of them are billion-dollar companies, so.
You know, you can go look at the statistics for small businesses. It's hard.
Being an MLM distributor does not make you a small business owner.
Emily, so if you had your business, your little Shopify store, if you hired some people, you would not want them to just bail on you at the slightest thing, right? You'd want them to.
It's not the slightest thing. She's making it sound like these lawsuits and companies that are being fined, like these are the slightest things.
Network marketing is a different type of model. It's not a model that's ever existed before. and it's one of the reasons why I love it. I'll make
Ever existed before. I'm pretty sure it's been around since the 1800s. What does that even mean? Dinosaurs had never existed before they just did. Like, the universe did not exist before the Big Bang. Like, what are you saying?
But one of the reasons that it is such a great model is because it helps partners, and that's really what we are. We're partners.
No, you're contractors.
In the business. We're not. She makes the point also, that our name is not on the business. That's not the point.
Why not? It should be a pretty big point.
My name's not on any of the businesses that I represent as a blogger when I promote their products as an affiliate marketer. My name's not on the business, but I still care about them, especially when I'm earning a lot of money from them.
Right. Yeah, you're earning money from them, so you're gonna keep defending yourselves. I think that's part of the reason why the anti-MLM movement is so big right now also, because 99% of people will end up losing money in them, or at least a very big percentage of those people, and those are the people that don't have a vested interest in protecting the company. There's so many people that are not successful in these companies, and I think that's why a lot of people are speaking out against them.
I've got companies that have been paying me for years selling supplements. I promote their supplements. I don't want them to go out of business. I care about them.
I care about them because they give me money.
If they make up a large percentage of my business income, then yeah, I really care about them, and I don't want other people.
But if they weren't giving you money, you wouldn't care about them, right? You pretty much just proved the opposite of the point you were trying to make. We all feel like we need to defend it because so many people are speaking out against it. Well, I mean, if they're giving you money, you would speak out to continue making that passive flow of income, right? But most people don't have that, so why defend it?
So I think I've made my point. I don't think I need to belabor this anymore, but I think network marketing gives the average person an opportunity to have more of a vested interest and to make more money, and that is exactly why they care.
It also gives people the opportunity to lose money. Most people, in fact.
And I think that's a good thing. I really think that's a good thing because their actual customers are their distributors. It's actually genius.
Gotta be honest here. I feel like this is the first time I've ever heard a Hunbot speak these words out loud and admit to this. Because what we see a lot is of people being like, people say that the sales in our company are so good because the distributors just buy it all out. But no, it's because we have an actually good product that's that great and people want to buy it. This woman just said exactly what our anti-MLM community has been trying to say this whole time. Y'all are the ones buying your own products. There is a very small market outside of your company that is actually buying your products.
It's genius. We get to...
It's genius if you're the one who's luckily at the top of the pyramid making money off of the distributors who are losing money.
Tell them what we want, what we don't want. Hey, we don't like this ingredient. And they don't have to worry about trying to sell out to Procter & Gamble or whoever, General Mills or whatever, because we got their back and they've got our back.
No, they don't.
That's kind of a beautiful thing.
They have your back as long as they have your money.
It's kind of a really nice ecosystem. And I think that it's one of the greatest business models that's ever been invented.
Because you're one of the 1% of people who actually make money from it. Just stopping this real quick to let you know that my camera just overheated.
In the corporate world, now I don't have to do that anymore. That's one of the reasons I became a blogger, because I don't want to promote companies that I don't believe in. I only promote companies that I believe in now and products that I believe in.
Which is great.
So am I going to fight for them? Oh, heck yeah, I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to fight for them because you know what? They're doing the right thing. And I don't have to be beholden to companies that I don't believe in. So that's why we defend our companies and our products and our industry so vehemently. And honestly, I think if you guys would stop attacking us so much, we could just do our job. But
no, what you really mean to say is if you guys would stop attacking us, we'd be able to swindle more money out of vulnerable people. That's what you're trying to say.
I think I've made my point.
You said that like 5 minutes ago, but then you kept going.
All right, the next thing I want to talk about is FOMO, the fear of missing out tactic that they use. When I was going through, people's page, It's the same exact thing. They show off their Cadillac, their car, like, cool, you've got a loan. They go on trips and, you know, their lifestyles. They're showing off their Gucci, their everything. Like, cool, if you can afford that, go for it. I mean, trust me, if I was making millions, yeah, you're right. I'd be, you know, showing it off. Work hard for what you got. But also, we know we've got income disclosure statements and you just look goofy doing it.
Thank you, Emily. I know I'm like I'm like responding to Emily now, but no, she really makes a very good point here. Having the information that we have, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier, like the reason the anti-MLM movement is a thing is because the information is being spread around out there. Because of the information that we have, we are able to recognize how goofy these tactics are. And these people, I'm sorry, you guys really do look goofy. I remember a post on Reddit, and I don't know how long ago it was a while ago. Someone like pretended that they had bought coffee with their unique card or something, that then people were able to prove it wrong because it was like a MasterCard, but the receipt showed that it was a Visa or something like that. Like, people, they just lie. Like, they sit up there and they lie, and we know it's goofy. I think in the anti-MLM subreddit, the last video that I did this month, there was a chick who was like bragging about buying McDonald's for her family. It's like, ooh, sweet brag. It just looks ridiculous, and that's what these people are doing.
We know that only 1 to 2% of you guys are actually making money, and again, that's not the 6-figure income. If you're making 6 figures, you've probably been in the business since the very beginning, and are that 0.01% making that much. So the reality that you go through and you see that, you know, all these people are having cars and going on trips, let me tell you something. If they have a Cadillac or a Mercedes, maybe, here's just a thought, maybe they bought it themselves and they didn't actually reach the rank. They're just all putting on the show.
There was also a something in the anti-MLM subreddit that I remember reading, like a story of a person who like knew a couple personally or something. This particular couple were caught like test driving a Cadillac or a Mercedes or something and taking pictures with it and claiming that it was theirs and then returning it because they couldn't afford it. Like, I mean, this is a documented thing that happens. People do this, and it sounds ridiculous. The people who are pro MLM will sit there and be like, no one does that, but they do. They really do.
Hoping that people are going to see that and want to sign up for them. I mean, just a theory, just a thought, but I mean,
it's not a theory, Emily. Like, it happens. And I know you know this. I know you've seen this. Like, we've all seen it. I wish you could see past the blur here, but this lady is just hardcore smirking, all smug and rolling her eyes at Emily right now. That's her ignorance showing right there. And she's gonna start telling us about how that never happens. But I'm here to tell you that it does. Just go on the anti-MLM subreddit for about 5 minutes, and I'm sure you'll find a post of someone lying about what they have achieved within their MLM.
We don't even know because Monet's like, don't tell them anything, so.
Oh yeah, that's another point. Yeah, Monet especially won't even release an income disclosure statement. No one is one to talk at all.
We don't know what their life is like, I guess.
What? Okay, that's just crazy.
It is crazy, and that's why there's an anti-MLM movement against you people, because you guys are crazy.
That part is just nuts.
I'm glad we can agree on that.
Actually, even know she must not have done network marketing for very long at all.
You must not have looked into the reason why the anti-MLM community exists for very long.
I'm guessing less than 6 months, because she obviously didn't meet people that have the cars, or probably even went on any of the trips.
We don't need to meet these people to know what they're all about. And
again, I'll put our disclosure statement here, because whenever I talk about income, I always want to show our.
Now, I don't know where this information came from. This particular graphic that she shows here, I don't know who made this, because maybe this came from Monet's back office. You know, I have no idea. But Monet has not released a public income disclosure statement, so I have no idea where these numbers came from. Someone made this graphic, and there's no proof of where it came from.
Income, average income, and our disclosure, because that is in compliance with the Federal Trade Commission, which I want to be. But to say that people are putting pictures of driving cars that are fake, like, she basically just called them liars.
Because They are. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now because my camera's done, but because they are. They are liars. They are fucking liars. There are liars in your community. And you can sit there and deny that they exist. I mean, ignorance is bliss, right? These people exist. And you can deny it all you want. You can live in your own bubble of bullshit, but they exist. People lie in MLMs all the time.
That's fraud. That's illegal. You can't do that. Like, that would go against the Federal Trade Commission.
And they do. Just because it's illegal doesn't mean people don't do it.
You can't be saying, oh, I'm driving this, Rolls Royce or Bentley, and this is my Rolex, and I got it from my network marketing gig. No, you can't do that.
But they do it. You can do that. It's just illegal. Nothing is stopping that. So the problem is that this is not enforced. The legality of what we're talking about here, it is not enforced. That's why these people continue to do it. You can deny it all you want, but they're doing it.
So actually, it's just ridiculous. That's just a ridiculous argument.
But it's not, though. It is a ridiculous thing that is happening within MLMs, but it is not a ridiculous argument because it exists.
Let me just show you a couple of people that are my friends in real life that are driving Cadillacs, just from the company, from Monate. I'll just show you a couple.
For every 7 or 8 people that this lady who has been successful in network marketing knows, there's thousands of people who we know who have not been successful.
I know in real life. I could go on. These aren't top earners. These are people that are, have been.
I mean, technically they are top earners. They're usually just the 1%, top 1% of the company, if even. Wouldn't you say that is a top earner? I mean, I guess it depends on what your definition of a top earner is, but, well, first of all, they don't just give out Cadillacs at all. There's a lot behind that, having to open leases in your name and having to maintain your rank to keep getting that car bonus. But regardless, they don't just go giving that car bonus to anyone willy-nilly. You gotta make it up to those top ranks.
Been doing this for a couple of years. But they're real people, and they're driving Cadillacs paid for by the company, and none of them are liars. So
none of the people you know are liars. That doesn't mean they don't exist. I think this seems to be this lady's claim to everything here. It's like, I don't know people who do that, so it just doesn't happen. Just because you don't know people who do that and participate in those practices doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Ignorance is bliss, right?
We don't need to go into this anymore.
Because she knows she's wrong.
I'm going to move on to the next thing.
All right.
The next reason why MLMs really grind my gears is the whole making assumptions that everybody hates working a 9-to-5. You guys have left amazing comments that you guys love working your 9-to-5s. Having that financial security is so nice and appealing to a lot of people. Why do we all assume that everybody wants to start their own business?
I am a dog groomer in my day job when I'm not doing YouTube. I mean, eventually, I would like to work from home and keep doing YouTube. But in the meantime, my day job is a job that I love and that many people strive for. I have people coming into my place of work all the time asking how to get started in my line of work. And I love it. I get to work with animals. It's like having a bazillion different pets without actually having to have them flooding your house. It's like I have relationships with these dogs. I love them like they're my own. And imagine how wonderful of an occupation that is. It really is great. I don't hate my 9-to-5, and I know a lot of other people don't. I don't know. I mean, I can hardly call it a 9-to-5 at this point because I only am part-time having a baby. But regardless, if I wasn't doing YouTube and I didn't have the opportunities that I have with it right now, I would obviously continue doing it for the rest of my life. Like, I mean, it is kind of hard on my body, but the work is very rewarding, and I love it. So, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way.
We get the point that she's making. She's like, stop attacking 9-to-5s. I get it. But here's the thing, Emily, that I think you're not thinking about. You're young. You don't have children yet.
Literally attacking her age, but okay.
I had no problem with my 9-to-5. I loved my 9-to-5. I did always have a side hustle on the side. So there's 2 things here. Number one is, again, 75% of network marketers are like 80%. It's like 77% are women. And so you're young, you're 18, you don't have any kids yet. what happens is we start to have kids in our 20s, 30s, whatever. I didn't have any children until I was 39, and that's when I had my daughter. And part of the reason I didn't have children is because I was trying to do a career. It's not so easy.
I mean, she's right. I can absolutely agree with her here. And I'm not going to be the first to say that, like, I do understand why people, young mothers especially, turn to network marketing. It's because they're sold this opportunity that is not likely to be their reality. There's statistics proving this. And it's really, when you look at those statistics based on who the target audience is, it's pretty messed up. New mothers are vulnerable. And that's the easiest way to sell them on the opportunity, is by saying, hey, you're a young mother. Don't you want to stay home with your new baby? You need to quit your 9-to-5 and join It Works. You know what I mean? Like, this is a very common thing that we see.
If you want to have a career, especially in something like advertising or marketing, like I did, it's not so easy to be a mom. And so when I finally had my daughter, I was like, I don't want to leave her. So a lot of network marketers, 80% of us, are women. We are moms. And so I think you'll understand more when you have your own kids. If you decide to have children, it's tough, and maybe that's part of the reason why you're an entrepreneur too. The other thing I want to say is this: 200 years ago, we were all entrepreneurs. Almost all Americans were entrepreneurs.
200 years ago, women weren't even given an opportunity to be an entrepreneur. But okay, continue.
It's like the new farming, the new family farm. Family farms are almost dead.
But no one in an MLM is actually making the stuff that they're selling. So how is this comparison accurate at all?
It's like they've been driven out of business by all these mega companies, like, these huge corporations that own us. So, like,
I mean, yeah, she's right. I mean, I don't always necessarily agree with capitalism. I have my own views on things like that. That doesn't mean that the answer is multi-level marketing.
If the average family can start a side hustle that they can grow into something that could help provide for their family, why would you begrudge that?
Because they're providing for their families by profiting off of the losses of others. That's why we begrudge that.
We can't even afford daycare, a lot of us.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with this too. The American, family is pretty screwed over by the way our country is run right now, but we don't need to get into politics at the moment. That's just, the way our country is run with things like this, with daycare and healthcare and things, it is not the way the rest of the world is doing it, and I don't agree with that, but I agree with what she's saying. But again, this does not mean that we all need to be network marketers to change this.
Well, if you like throwing your money away, go for it.
If you like throwing your money away, join an MLM.
But if you want to actually save your money, pay off your credit cards, pay off your student loans, start a network marketing business.
That's not the reality of 99% of people.
Let's see what else she says here.
All right, the next point I want to talk about is that the only reason why MLMs are not directly pyramid schemes, and I'm just saying like directly, is product. Now,
I just released a video about this. This is a common misconception. The reason why MLMs are not immediately marked as pyramid schemes is not because they have a product or not. I mean, look at Advocare, look at Herbalife, look at Success by Health. All these companies that have been fined or forced to change their business structures, those companies, they all had product, but they still got fined by the FTC for being an illegal pyramid scheme. What really separates the two is if you make more money by recruiting people than you do by selling the product, which is the case in all of these companies. But they get around it in a lot of ways. There's a lot of loopholes. MLMs are sneaky, and I don't want to say they're smart, but the people who use them as a significant form of income know how to work them in a way so that they aren't being fined, even though that is changing.
You go to a salon, you're gonna be paying, $20 for a legitimate shampoo, Paul Mitchell, Matrix, all of those. You're gonna be paying less than you would Monique. So again, why wouldn't you just go to a professional who went to school,
exactly,
licensed to do that? Like, why would you go to someone who posts about working on their vacation on a beach, hasn't been to school, doesn't have any education? Why would you listen to what they have to say? I would not feel safe with that. I'm sorry, but I take real good care of my hair, and I would not listen to someone who does not know what they're talking
And Emily Leah has better hair than most Monet Huns that I've ever seen. So whatever.
about.
Okay, whoa, so many things wrong there. I did go to school. I got my degree
Not for hair care.
in radio, TV, film, actually.
That has nothing to do with what Emily Leah just said. She's talking about people not being educated on proper ways to care for your hair, formulations, the science behind hair care. That is the point she was trying to make, and this chick just like took a 180 and went somewhere else.
There's a lot of us who have an education.
But we're not talking about the education that you have. We're talking about people who, anyone working in any wellness MLM. Beachbody is a great example of people pretending that they're coaches when they have no fitness accreditation at all. People who work in essential oil companies or wellness companies who know nothing about functions of the human body. These are the kind of educations that we are talking about. We're not talking about people who went to business school. Like, congratulations on being educated, but being educated even in the real world in normal jobs doesn't necessarily get you anywhere either. What this chick is saying is irrelevant, and she's hardly even finished a sentence here, but anyway.
My upline Melinda has a PhD, so okay.
Congratulations. She probably doesn't have a PhD in hair care.
We don't even need to go there. That was kind of a personal attack, actually.
What was a personal attack? What Emily Leah said or what you said? Because Emily Leah probably has never heard of you in her life. So no, it's not a personal attack, and it's also not an unfounded statement to make. It is very, very true that many people in MLMs are not educated on the products they're selling. All they know is the shit they read on the internet that is not backed by scientific evidence in a lot of cases. Like in 2014, the FDA sent warning letters to doTERRA and Young Living because of what their consultants were trying to say. And it goes on to this day. Many wellness companies are cracking down on what consultants can and cannot say because they're not allowed to make false health claims. Anyone who was educated on health and wellness would not be making false claims. That's the point. And this shit, it just went whoosh, right over her head. We're educated, so we are able to make these businesses work. No, you're not. I mean, you're educated in one way, but not in the way that really matters when you're selling a product.
Let's talk about the products being overpriced. So I can't speak to all products out there. There's a lot of network marketing companies out there. I can't talk to all of those. I will say this, when I join as a preferred customer with a lot of their companies, or even a distributor, which I've actually joined 12 companies in my lifetime.
12
network marketing companies, partly for research, partly because I was a blogger looking to figure out what I wanted to promote, but also just to get the products at a discount, right?
She joined 12 MLMs. What?
I will specifically answer your question about Monet being overpriced.
Okay, I can't wait for this.
So you're saying if you go to the salon, you can get a bottle of shampoo for $20. So here's what's great. I'm not trying to sell anybody, but this is just the truth.
No, it's not.
With Monet.
She hasn't even said it yet, but I know what she's about to say is bullshit.
A bottle of Monet shampoo is going to cost you, it's $35 retail.
Not all of them. I just got done filming a video about Monet like 2 days ago. There are some bottles of shampoo that are like upwards of $50. They have products that are $100. She like literally went and chose like the cheapest the cheapest one for this example, but all right.
So, okay, let's say the average person is going to spend $30 on their shampoo, not $35 as retail. $30. Now I'm going to show you why it's actually cheaper to buy Monet. Actually, Emily, I think I can sell you to become a customer.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I'm not going to try. You seem to have a little bit of a bias against MLM, so
You seem to have a little bit of a bias for MLMs.
I won't try, but at some point, maybe you want to buy.
At some point, maybe you can just fuck off. No, Emily Leah has more smarts in her little finger than you do in your entire body.
For most shampoos on the market, you need to use 2 teaspoons per wash.
This also depends on how much hair you have, but I digress.
2 teaspoons per wash. Monet is the same, 8.5 ounces, but you're paying $10 more as a VIP customer. Probably less because of the flash sales and everything else I said, but let's just go with the higher price, just assuming you didn't get it on a flash sale. So because Monate is so concentrated, I have actually measured this in my shower and it only requires a 1/4 teaspoon.
The amount of hair that this lady has, if she used an entire teaspoon of regular shampoo on her hair, it would be way too much. She's literally just taking like a general number. Let's say like even just mid-length hair. Let's cut it in between here. Someone who's mid-length is probably the one who's gonna need to use 2 teaspoons or whatever. But she has much less hair. She could probably use a 1/4 teaspoon of any shampoo and it would still wash her hair just fine. I mean, this is a perfect example of cherry picking facts that relate to her narrative. Her narrative for this right now is, oh, Monate has a great value, where it's like, show me the fucking receipts of you using any other shampoo and tell me you're using an entire teaspoon for your tiny head of hair.
51 teaspoons in our Monate shampoo, 51 teaspoons. It only takes me half a teaspoon to wash my hair now, so I can double that number, 51.
There's no way that before Monate, she was using an entire teaspoon of shampoo on the amount of hair she has right now. There is no way. That would be overkill by like a bazillion.
I actually don't have to wash my hair as often. I wash my hair every 2 to 3 days now.
I mean, no matter what shampoo you're using, most professionals say you should not be washing your hair every day. This, again, not having to wash your hair every single day, again, is not exclusive to Monate.
Because it's not as oily since I started using Monate. So, have I sold you?
No.
I did. I just sold you.
Yeah, okay, you can tell yourself that all you want.
I'm not trying. $30 divided by 102 washes means I'm paying 29 cents per shampoo. And $20 divided by 26, 77 cents.
I would love to see someone prove this, because I guarantee those numbers are not what she's saying at all.
Now, I'm sure there's other network marketers out there that have their products that they could come on here and say how it's actually cheaper to shop with them. So your whole argument that it's more expensive, it's just not true. Let's move.
No. Now, it depends on the company and what they're selling. Like, let's say Paparazzi, for example. They sell $5 jewelry. Like, yeah, that's a pretty good deal, even though, their jewelry was found to have lead and cadmium and shit in it. But, and plus they use, like, slave labor and stuff in China, but I digress on that. Let's say Paparazzi aside, there are a lot of studies that say, for example, all the healthcare ones, like Isogenics and Arbonne and stuff, like the stuff that they sell, there are a lot of medically educated people who have come out and said, you're spending high-end prices for these products when they are not going to be any more effective than something you bought from here for half the price. You know what I'm saying? This is very common with MLMs. They have to pay for these incentives and bonuses somehow. Like, look at Color Street, for example. Color Street is a great example of this because they sell the same exact products in Walmart and Ulta, but the Color Street, being the same exact product just with different designs, is sold for upwards of $11 to $14 when you can buy the same thing at Walmart. The same exact thing for less than $5 at Walmart. They all do this. Look at Young Living. You buy a bottle of frankincense from Young Living for like $70 or something when you can buy it from Eden's Garden for like $20. Now, Young Living people will say that they are not the same quality, but they won't release their distilling secrets because it's proprietary information. I say bullshit on that. There's just a lot of things that are kept under wraps within a lot of these MLMs, and I call BS on what she's saying about Monate. I would like to see someone legitimately do this. Maybe Monate is a little more concentrated, that's fine. I'm not denying that, because maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not a Monate expert. This is all anecdotal evidence to her, and the facts and figures that she's claiming, like, you're not going to use a freaking teaspoon on the amount of hair she has.
I really do not like the belittling that goes on. It's so gross. It's so high school. If you were like in your 20s and 30s and 40s and attacking each other, who are you? I'm sorry. I'm 18 years old. I know you guys are always shocked to hear that. I'm 18 years old, and it's like, grow up. Stop. This is like people are working for a living, and it's...
I will say this. I agree with what Emily is saying, but this is not exclusive to the MLM community. This happens in the anti-MLM community as well, and I do not condone it.
You guys know where I'm getting at. There's no need to belittle people like that. I have nothing against people who are in MLMs. I understand, you know, you're in a really rough patch in your life. That's why you join an MLM. I want to help you and show you that there's so many other options instead of MLM.
Okay, I just have to respond to this. So she's saying that women are...
I don't think Emily ever said women. No, I don't think women ever got brought into what she just said. You said women.
Belittling people because they have excuses for not joining. You know what?
They do. They do that. I don't know what her rebuttal is going to be right now, but it happens.
If I'm not convinced, you need to get better at sales. That's all. So, you know, whatever. But you're blaming women for...
She didn't blame women.
Belittling other women and which is what you're doing.
No, she's not at all. She's literally trying to educate people and spread the word to protect other vulnerable people from falling into MLMs. Who's belittling people? Girl, you are the one who made a video about Emily Leah and the things that she said. This 57-minute long video is about Emily Leah and the things she said. Emily Leah, in her videos, does not pinpoint one individual person and spread their name all over the place and belittle them. She does not bully anybody. She does not harass anybody. But you, woman, are middle-aged and doing this, like exactly what Emily said. She's 18 years old and is like, hey guys, you guys are in your 20s, 30s, and in her case, probably 40s or 50s, I don't know. She's literally sitting here being significantly older than Emily, and she is acting like a child in high school. Emily is not saying the things she's saying just for shits and giggles. Like, she's saying it because there is evidence of everything she's talking about happening.
You say that you cover their faces and that you cover their, you know, their names and stuff, and so it's anonymous, but...
Yeah, that's the point. Here's the difference between what Emily and I are doing and what you are doing, chick. We are trying to make this about what is contained in the statements that the people are maybe saying. We are taking facts and figures and statistics and using it as an educational tool, as a way to put our message out there. By this woman not censoring out Emily's name, or her face, by singling her out and making a almost hour-long video about her. That is what she is doing, exactly what she's like, we shouldn't be doing this. It's really unfortunate.
By attacking our companies and attacking our industry, you're attacking us.
I mean, the same can be said about you, lady. Like, she's such a hypocrite. She's such a hypocrite! Excuse me.
So please don't accuse other people of doing what you yourself are doing, because that's what's called a hypocrite, okay?
What they say a lot about bullies, and I'm not saying that this woman is necessarily a bully, I'm just saying she's a hypocrite. They say that, you know, bullies are people who have been bullied themselves. A lot of time what people do when they like bully and harass people is that they're projecting their own insecurities onto other people. This is absolutely true in human behavior. She's literally doing this. This is exactly what she's doing. And by singling out Emily, she is 10,000 times worse. Plus, she's like way older. She should know better. She should absolutely know better.
That's not a personal attack.
Just because you say it's not a personal attack doesn't mean it's not a personal attack. Because this whole video is about Emily. And she addresses Emily specifically going, you are this, you are this, you said that, you're young, you're this. Those are personal attacks. If you were not singling out Emily, I wouldn't sit here and say you're making personal attacks against people. If Emily's video had nothing to do with any of this, this would not be a personal attack, but it is. All this woman had to do, go on anti-MLM. Everyone on there is respectful of people's privacy and anonymity. That's a hard word to say, don't at me. Go on anti-MLM and find examples of things that you want to talk about and address. And I guarantee that if she did this video would not have the views that it has.
That's just an observation, because it's hypocritical to say that, you know, other women are belittling you when you're belittling us.
This woman. She's like a middle-aged baby.
So this is kind of going back to last night. I got my cold message from I think she's a Monate distributor, you know, real fun, my fave. And she was like, oh, you know, you'd be perfect to join our all-natural vegan hair care company.
I don't know if this is true, but I was reading somewhere that not all of the ingredients in Monate are natural. Like there's fragrances or something. And I don't have a source for that. I was just reading it somewhere that there are parts of their ingredients that are not all natural. So that's like false advertising, but I'm not going to get into that too hardcore because I don't have the sources in front of me right now. I could probably find them if I wanted to, but I don't want to, so.
And I was like, all right, like, can you send me more information? She's like, yeah, we're at...
Belittling? Maybe? Just...
How? How? You literally just said that you don't agree with cold messaging like 10 minutes ago. Do you think that people should not do it? But Emily's the one who's wrong here? She's the one who's in the wrong?
I'm not.
This holier than thou attitude is gross. It is absolutely disgusting.
I actually like her. I'm not
Oh, you do?
trying to attack you, Emily, but don't say that you're not belittling people when you are. It's so obviously. Okay, let's move on.
What she just said is personal towards Emily, but she's not making personal attacks. Let's just say then, like, girl, if your whole video about Emily is a personal observation, then so is this.
Why don't they just come out and say, I'm a Monate distributor. Listen, girl, I need to make some money. Will you sign up? Like, will you help me out? I got a phone bill I gotta pay. Okay, maybe you don't have to go that far. Why aren't they just like, hey girl, I'm a Monate distributor. Actually, no, we don't even want that. Just straight up do not message us, but two, like, they don't come out and say what they are. They're always like,
Well, gee, do you think it might have something to do with hashtag anti-MLM?
That's 100% what it is, and at least she's self-aware here, right? It's like they're ashamed. People who do what Emily is saying that they do, which they do this, that's the actions of someone who's ashamed of what they're doing. Maybe this is just my opinion, but like, if you're so proud of what you do, why hide it? You know, they don't put anything on their Facebook profiles, probably because they go and cold add people, and if I were to get a friend request from someone and look at their profile and be like, I'm a Monate hun, I wouldn't add them. I mean, I wouldn't add anyone I don't know anyway, but
Because there's so much bad press about it.
there's a reason.
Because of people like you? Maybe?
No, it's because of what the companies do. It's because of the lawsuits, and it's because the FTC tells us to stay away from companies like you. 2 or 3 videos ago, I released a video that was all about an article that the FTC posted about the difference between MLMs and pyramid schemes, how to avoid them. So, I mean, I guess I would recommend watching that. But, I mean, if the FTC says it, it's not just us who think that. It's like literal government agencies who think that what you're doing is really scummy.
Maybe you're the problem.
But it's not a personal attack.
Maybe you're as much of a problem as the people that are cold messaging you.
But this is not a personal attack.
And if they felt proud of starting a business and their community supported them for being able to stay home with their kids and being able to support their families,
We would support you if your business was legitimate, but it's not.
and provide healthy, good products that people need and like.
Nobody needs a single MLM product. There is no need for any product on the market that is marketed by an MLM. No one needs any of it.
You know, Monate has over 1 million customers,
And they're all within the company.
including our downline, our distributors.
I mean, at least she admits that. We would have actual figures and statistics on this if, Monate would just come out with an income disclosure statement, but they won't because they know it's shady.
In 5 years, they did that. In 5 years, they hit $1 billion in sales.
But Monate is a $1 billion company, but you guys are small business owners. Okay.
Our customers love our products.
You mean your distributors love your products?
So why are you making fun of people for promoting these? You're making fun of this girl that tried to reach out to you, to message you. You're making fun of her. Even
I mean, it's pretty cringy, but at the very least, she's not outing who said it and giving away personal information and sending the army out to make fun of her. She talks about it because it's a problem. And I think she's doing it in the most respectful way she can.
if you don't say her name, you're going to make other people be afraid to promote these products that
That's point of the anti-MLM movement. I shouldn't do that in a rolly chair. Yeah, no, that's the point. That's what we're trying to do. My video might cut out soon because my camera's getting full because I've been recording for almost 3 hours, so.
I work for an all-natural, like, weight loss company.
So this lady is like sitting here just like, like rolling her eyes at Emily doing this impression, but she literally did this. Oh, my video cut out. Okay, anyway. She literally did this in the video earlier. So why is this okay?
Oh, I have a friend who ate peanut butter and she almost died.
If you are making a profit or trying to make a profit, even if you suck and you're not making any money yet.
Well, that's kind of rude, isn't it? To say that someone in an MLM who's not making money sucks? I mean, you're talking to 99% of the people who are in your companies. You are talking to the people who give you money. You are talking to the bottom of the reverse funnel system whose purchases are going up to the top to you. You're saying that they suck. Who's being a bitch here? I know she didn't use the word bitch in this. I know she's gonna sit there and go, I never called anyone a bitch. I mean, that is a bitchy thing to say. I don't care what you say. That is extremely rude.
When I work with other companies as a blogger doing affiliate marketing, they pay me a percentage of the sale.
Yeah, but you don't have to give them money to become an affiliate, though. There's a difference between affiliate marketing and multi-level marketing. There's no out-of-pocket cost to you being an affiliate for any of these companies. You're not required to buy product. You're not required to buy a starter kit. This is, again, comparing apples to oranges. It's irrelevant.
Same as Monet. It's very similar, actually. It's a very similar model.
It's
so
not.
I'm just a partner for them.
As an affiliate, you don't have to sign up people underneath you to make more money. You have to just have a platform to be like, hey, I like these products. Here's the link. I'll get commission if you buy something from it. That's it. That's literally all there is to it. There's a lot more to an MLM. You cannot compare the two. They are very different.
Monet also takes care of lawsuits.
You know what? This lady deserves an award. Let's give the world's most self-aware Hun award to this woman. Yet somehow, despite how self-aware she is, she's still in multi-level marketing.
One of the reasons why network marketing is so fabulous, one of the best business models out there, is because I can leverage the brand of Monet that they worked hard to build. I can leverage their technology. I can leverage their innovation. They are working with the guy that does all their formulations. Jamie Ross is a friggin' genius. I couldn't afford to hire him if I wanted to start a beauty company. I get to work with Monet, who hired him. They're paying him. They also have a huge team. They have the entire customer service department that they manage and run. They have their warehouse. They have the people that source all their products.
I'm sorry, I just fail to see how any of this is like supposed to be impressive. It's literally just saying, I have someone else doing all the work for me, but I'm still making a butt ton of money. That's not impressive to me. I don't know what it is. It's just not impressive.
Well, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here. I think I've debunked every single point that she made.
You did not. And I think I debunked a lot of the shit that you think you debunked, but you actually didn't. Can we take back the self-awareness award? Because I don't think she deserves it anymore.
I might have missed one, but I think I got them all. She has a lot of other videos, and I may make more reaction videos.
At this point, if she does that, like, you know exactly what her intention is. She can sit here and say she's not trying to be mean and trying to attack anyone, blah, blah, blah. If it comes down to her making more videos about Emily Leah, what does that say about your intentions?
I am going to make a lot more videos promoting network marketing. So if you're watching this,
go for it. Your other ones promoting network marketing aren't doing that well.
I wish Emily the best. I hope she will get off this drumbeat of anti-MLM because
yeah, she won't. Actually, the anti-MLM community is growing day by day. So there's that.
I obviously everything she's saying is false.
That is not true. Girl, everything you're saying is anecdotal evidence and a bunch of BS that doesn't add up factually.
But besides that, it's just sad. I mean,
you're right. This is sad. Being a middle-aged woman picking on an 18-year-old girl.
Just, you know, I'm going to say a prayer for her maybe.
Oh, look it. A Hun who brings religion into it. That is so surprising.
She can work more on promoting her own business. I really wish her the best. I think she is very talented, and I think she could do very well. And, you know, I think she could do actually really well in network marketing one day.
Oh my
if
God.
she decides.
This woman is just clueless. She's absolutely off her rocker.
When she sees the light, which, by the way, she will.
Okay, we'll see about that.
Because I'll tell you something. Network marketing is not going to go away.
Yeah, tell that to the FTC.
In fact, it's going to skyrocket over this next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, tell that to Advocare and Herbalife.
My prediction.
Your prediction is not accurate.
Why? Because the internet's not going to go away. YouTube.
Right. Yeah, the internet's not going to go away, and we're going to continue to shed light on the scammy, scummy, culty reality behind MLMs. The information age is now, and people are learning about how horrible your business practices are.
We're going to be able to share information. It's the sharing economy, as Gary Vaynerchuk calls it. It's not.
I mean, I'm glad we can agree on that point, but the information that you're presenting here is not factual. The anti-MLM community is based a lot on factual information.
She can keep making her hate videos, I guess. And
they're not hate videos, they're educational videos.
And I don't know, but I think eventually maybe she might change her mind.
No, she won't.
So that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching.
Anyone else want to throw up right now? I ran out of space on my memory card for my camera footage, so I guess I have to do this intro just looking at my desktop, because actually, fuck this. I don't really know what to say. This is very typical behavior, typical arguments made by this woman. It speaks to the narrative that these people are literally involved in cult-like behavior, and some people, every time I bring up the whole cult thing with MLMs, people get really defensive, but because it sounds like an extreme connection to make, but I mean, it's really not. I always bring this video up because I think it's wonderful. The Genetically Modified Skeptic has a video about comparing the bite model, which is how they determine whether or not something is a cult, comparing it to MLM behavior, and the amount of similarities between the two is kind of mind-blowing. So as always, I recommend watching that video if you haven't already, but it really is great. But this just speaks volumes. Like, I mean, this middle-aged woman, just the holier-than-thou attitude. I mean, it definitely just speaks volumes of the state of mind that these people are in. So this video is way too long. I am so sorry if you sat through the whole thing. Emily, Leah, if you're watching this, keep doing what you're doing, girl. She very well can come back with her own clapback, but I'm just here to really show some camaraderie here in the anti-MLM community. You know, hopefully there's, you know, not much more to this story that comes around, although I do feel like this lady is very mad at me right now. I'd be mad at me too if I was brainwashed, but anyway. You know, as I always say, keep making waves, babes. Especially you, Emily, Leah. Why do I have The Sims 4 on my desktop twice? Excuse me. Welcome to my life. I will see you guys later. Bye.